News exclusive. Jodi Arias' former defense attorney talking about what he's been doing since defending the killer while she works on her appeal.
Kirk Nurmi ended up being cast as almost as big a villain as Jodi Arias was because he defended her. After the trial, Nurmi gave up his law license, wrote several books, including one about dealing with Arias, and came away from the case a completely different man. Team 12's William Pitts shows us what he's been doing since then.
What's funny about Jodi Arias? She's a convicted murderer, famously vain, and still denies killing her boyfriend, Travis Alexander. Her appeal is ongoing. Heck, the trial was so rough, defense attorney Kirk Nurmi believes it probably gave him cancer.
Cancer's easier to shake because nobody associates me with cancer.
Turns out the pain of that trial can be funny, in a weird sort of way.
There's just a lot of funny anecdotes that I tell along the way about, I remember in my office some of the calls I get about blood atonement and porn that I was sent for because they thought, Jodi was in it and all kinds of weird stuff.
Nurmi is performing a one-man show in April at the Stir Crazy Comedy Club in Glendale. The title, Overcoming Jodi Arias.
The Jodi fans, the Jodi supporters are quite an interesting group, so there's some funny stories to tell along the way.
The trial was broadcast live. Networks built full sets, impaneled fake juries, reenacted the murder. And in the middle of it, Kirk Nurmi was cast as a villain defending a murderer. After it was over, Nurmi realized he didn't want to be a lawyer anymore. He wrote a book about defending Arias, one that the state bar said violated attorney-client privilege. Instead of giving up his license for 4 years, Nurmi decided he was done with the whole thing. But now he knows he'll never really be done with Jodi.
I've come to the point now in my life where I realize I'm not going to be able to escape it. I could cure cancer, and a reporter like you would come on the air, and you wouldn't say Kirk Nurmi killed cancer, right? You'd sit there and say, Jodi Arias' former lawyer cured cancer.
The Arias case was incredibly famous, followed worldwide. Even today, Arias tweets from jail and sells artwork online, which is why it's amazing.
I wasn't real aware of it. I've learned a lot about it in the last few days.
That Nurmi's show is hosted by a guy who's never heard of her or him.
And that's probably why he said yes to hosting the show, because if he'd known, he would have said, oh, no, sorry, buddy.
No, I've seen a lot of things in my life, and I'm not here to judge.
Jim Perry was a former cop turned comedian. Not exactly a perfect pair.
Me, of course, being a former police officer, and then Kirk being a former defense attorney. And if we can have any kind of comedic show about those two forces coming together, then we know there's hope in our world.
And Nurmi says that's what the show is about. Funny, but it's also about dealing with the things that go wrong in life, laughing at the pain.
I've seen a lot of trauma in my life, and he's obviously had a lot of stress in his life. And some of us, if we agree or not, we deal with that through humor.
But laughter also removes pain, even if it's just for a minute. And when we're laughing at the tough circumstances we're under, that gives us a moment of hope.
William Pitts, 12 News.